You've made a decision today, maybe several. What to eat, who to text back, whether to speak up in a meeting. It felt like you. Your judgment, your free will, in the driver's seat. Except most of it wasn't. There's a set of psychological patterns running underneath almost every choice you make. Patterns you never agreed to, installed before you could consent to them. They're not weaknesses. They're not personal failures. They're just code. Old code, written by evolution and reinforced by every relationship you've ever had. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 4 of them. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. In yourself or in everyone around you. Stick around because the last one might be the most freeing thing you learn this year. Segment 1. The commitment trap. Psychologists call it escalation of commitment. You've felt it. The relationship that stopped working 2 years ago. The job that drains you, but you've already put in 5 years. The video game with 40 hours logged that you don't even like anymore. The logic sounds reasonable. I've invested too much to quit now. But that's exactly the trap. The investment already happened. It's gone either way. Continuing doesn't recover it, it just adds to the pile. Researcher Barry Staw demonstrated this back in the 1970s with a simple study. People who'd already sunk money into a failing decision kept pouring more in, even when a fresh perspective would have walked away immediately. Your brain isn't calculating the future. It's protecting the story that your past choices were smart ones. The way out isn't willpower. It's a single reframe. Ask yourself, if I were starting today, knowing what I know now, would I choose this? If the answer is no, the sunk cost isn't a reason to stay. It's the reason you're stuck. Segment 2, the mirror you didn't build. Here's an uncomfortable one. A huge amount of what you call your personality was assembled by the people who raised you, watching how they reacted to you. This is called the looking glass self, a concept from sociologist Charles Cooley. We don't just see ourselves directly. We see ourselves through how we imagine others perceive us. A kid who's constantly told, "You're the sensitive one," doesn't just get labeled. He builds an identity around it, sometimes for decades. This is why criticism from someone whose opinion matters to you can wreck your whole week, while the same words from a stranger barely register. You're not reacting to the sentence. You're reacting to what it might mean about the self you've built out of other people's eyes. The pattern breaks when you start asking a different question. Not, what do they think of me? But is this actually true, separate from who said it? That single separation is where self-esteem stops being borrowed and starts being owned. Segment 3, the comfort of the familiar storm. This one explains why people return to relationships, jobs, and cities that hurt them over and over. Psychologists sometimes call it repetition compulsion, a tendency to recreate familiar emotional dynamics, even painful ones, because familiar feels safer than unknown. Your nervous system isn't optimizing for happiness, it's optimizing for predictability. If you grew up with unpredictable affection, a partner who runs hot and cold might not feel like a warning sign. It might feel like home. That's not weakness. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. The tragedy is that it was trained on the wrong data. Breaking this loop starts with naming it in real time. This feels familiar is not the same as this is good for me. Once you can hold those as separate facts, you get to choose, instead of just repeating. Segment 4, the invisible audience. Last one. You almost certainly overestimate how much other people notice you. It's called the spotlight effect, documented by psychologist Thomas Gilovich in a memorable study where participants wore an embarrassing t-shirt into a room of strangers. They guessed roughly half the room would remember it. The real number was under a quarter, and most forgot within minutes. Every person in that room was running their own internal monologue, starring themselves. Nobody had a spare spotlight to shine on you. This is why the thing you said 3 years ago that still makes you cringe at 2 a.m. was almost certainly forgotten by everyone else by breakfast. Once you actually believe this, not just know it, believe it, a strange kind of freedom shows up. You stop rehearsing your life for an audience that was never really watching. 4 patterns. None of them are flaws, they're just old software still running because nobody ever showed you the settings menu. Naming them is the first step to editing them. You can't rewrite a program you don't know is running. Don't forget subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications.